I woke up to sunlight pouring through my bedroom window like liquid gold. The birds were singing outside. The air smelled fresh and clean. Everything looked perfect. But something was wrong. Very wrong. My heart was pounding hard in my chest. My hands were shaking. A heavy weight pressed down on my shoulders like invisible hands trying to push me back into bed. I sat up slowly, trying to understand what was happening to me. Nothing bad had happened. Aaron was already at work. The house was quiet and peaceful. But deep inside my chest, something screamed at me. Something whispered that today was not just another ordinary day. I pressed my hand against my heart, feeling it race beneath my palm. What is wrong with me? I whispered to the empty room. Then another thought came, softer but more terrifying. What am I forgetting? The question hung in the air like smoke. I could not shake it off. I tried to remember, but my mind felt blank and foggy. Still, the feeling of urgency grew stronger with every passing second. My phone rang, breaking the silence. It was Aaron. "Hey, love," his warm voice came through. "Just calling to check on you. How is your day going?" I forced a smile even though he could not see me. "I am fine, Aaron. Everything is good." "You sure? You sound a little off." "I am just tired, that is all." We talked for a few more minutes about nothing important. He told me about a meeting at work. I laughed at his jokes. But the whole time my heart was still racing. My hands were still trembling. When the call ended, I sat there staring at my phone. The silence in the room felt louder than before. It pressed against my ears like water. Aaron's voice had been so calm, so normal. But I felt like I was drowning in something I could not name. The whisper came again, louder this time. "You are forgetting something. Something important." I stood up quickly, trying to shake off the feeling. Maybe if I kept myself busy, it would go away. I walked to my small desk and pulled out my handwritten checklist. I always made lists. They helped me feel organized and in control. Today's list was simple. Do laundry, buy groceries, visit Maria, go to post office, send donuts to my sister. Normal things. Easy things. Things I did almost every week. But as I read each item, my stomach twisted. It felt like these tasks were clues to a puzzle I could not solve. I stared at the words until they started to blur. Why did this list make me feel so uneasy? What was I missing? I grabbed my bag and my keys. Maybe going out would help. Maybe being around people would make this terrible feeling disappear. I locked the door behind me and started walking toward the laundry shop. The sun was warm on my skin. Children were playing in the street. Everything looked beautiful and normal. But inside me, the storm was getting worse. The laundry shop smelled like fresh detergent and fabric softener. Normally I loved this smell. But today it hit me like a wave of memories. I suddenly saw my younger sister, Bella, standing beside me years ago. We were both younger then, laughing as we folded clothes together. This was before she moved to another city for her job. I remembered her voice clearly. "Jenny, you need to take better care of yourself. You are always so busy taking care of everyone else." Then another memory flashed. Bella nagging me about something. "Have you booked your appointment yet? Women need to go for regular checkups. Promise me you will not forget." I had promised her. But what appointment was she talking about? My throat felt tight. I handed my clothes to the attendant, but my hands were shaking so badly that I almost dropped them. "Are you okay, Ma?" the young girl behind the counter asked. "Yes, I am fine," I lied. But I was not fine. Something was trying to break through the fog in my mind, and I could not grab it. The grocery store was crowded and loud. People pushed carts past me. Children cried. Announcements blared from the speakers overhead. I walked slowly down the aisles, picking up items without really thinking. Bread, milk, tomatoes. Everything felt automatic, like my body was moving on its own. Then a pregnant woman brushed past me, her hand resting gently on her round belly. She was smiling, talking to someone on the phone about her baby. The sight hit me like a punch to the stomach. Another memory flashed. I was sitting in a doctor's office years ago, waiting for a checkup. The walls were white. The smell of antiseptic filled the air. A nurse was calling my name. I stopped walking. My heart was pounding again. What was that memory trying to tell me? A date flickered in my mind for just a second, but it disappeared before I could catch it. I gripped the shopping cart handle tightly. My body whispered again, louder this time. There is something important. You need to remember. After dropping my groceries at home, I drove to Maria's house. She was my best friend and she was going through a hard time. Her dog Simba had died 2 days ago. When she opened the door, her eyes were red and swollen from crying. I hugged her tightly. "Thank you for coming, Jenny," she said, her voice breaking. "I just feel so lost without him." We sat on her couch, and I held her hand while she cried. I tried to comfort her with soft words and gentle touches. But my mind kept drifting. Suddenly, Maria stopped crying and looked at me closely. "Jenny, are you okay? You look so tired. Is something wrong?" I forced a smile. "No, I am fine. Today is just about you." But Maria kept staring at me with concern in her eyes. "You do not look fine. Have you been taking care of yourself?" Her question hit me harder than I expected. Why did everyone keep asking me about taking care of myself? "I am okay, Maria. Promise." But I was lying. And deep down I knew it. The post office was small and busy. I waited in line, holding a box of donuts I was sending to Bella. She loved these donuts from our neighborhood bakery, and I always sent them to her as a surprise. When I reached the counter, the attendant smiled warmly at me. "Sending something special?" "Yes, donuts for my sister. You must really love her." I laughed. "I do. She is everything to me." But as I walked out of the post office, the attendant's words echoed in my mind. "You must really love her." Another memory surfaced. Bella and I were sitting in my living room months ago. She had come to visit for the weekend. "Jenny, I need you to promise me something," she had said, her face serious. "Promise me you will take your health seriously. You keep canceling appointments and ignoring things. One day it might be too late." I had laughed it off then. "I am fine, Bella. Stop worrying so much." But now, standing in the post office parking lot, her words felt like a warning I should have listened to. I drove home slowly, my mind lost in memories. I thought about Bella and me as children. We used to fight over toys and clothes. We used to share secrets late at night under our blankets. I remembered the day she left for university. I cried so hard. I remembered her first heartbreak when I held her while she sobbed. I remembered her calling me years ago, crying after a hospital visit for something she would not tell me about at first. "Jenny, promise me you will go for your checkups," she had begged through tears. "Promise me." I had promised. But had I kept that promise? The feeling in my chest grew stronger. It was not just anxiety anymore. It was panic. There was something Bella had wanted me to do. Something important. Something she had reminded me about weeks ago. But what was it? When was it? My hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. Back home, I sat on my couch trying to calm down. But then I felt it. A mild cramp in my lower stomach. It was not painful, just uncomfortable. I had been feeling this cramp on and off for weeks. Maybe even months. But every time it came, I brushed it aside. It is nothing, I always told myself. It will go away. But now, sitting alone in my living room, the cramp felt different. It felt like a message my body had been trying to send me for a long time. My stomach sank. My breathing became shallow. I whispered out loud to the empty room. Seriously, what am I forgetting? The question hung in the air, unanswered but urgent. I looked around my living room. Everything was normal. TV was off. The curtains were open. Sunlight streamed in. But I felt like I was standing on the edge of something terrible. Something I should have remembered a long time ago. I glanced at the clock on the wall. It was 2:10 p.m. The moment I saw the time, something exploded in my mind. A violent flash of memory hit me like lightning. A white room. A woman in a white coat. My gynecologist's kind face smiling at me. Her voice clear and firm. Jenny, I am booking you for a PAP smear test. 3 weeks from today. Do not forget. It is very important. I had nodded. I had written it down somewhere. But where? I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and opened my calendar app. I scrolled frantically through the dates. And there it was. Today at 2:30 p.m. My appointment was in 20 minutes. No, I whispered, my heart racing so fast I thought it would burst out of my chest. I jumped up from the couch. Had to leave now. Right now. If I left immediately, I might barely make it. The clinic was 15 minutes away, maybe less if I drove fast. I grabbed my bag, my keys, my phone. Everything fell from my hands. I was shaking so badly I could barely function. I ran to my car, my heart pounding in my ears. My hands were trembling so much that I dropped my keys twice before I finally managed to unlock the door. I jumped into the driver's seat and started the engine. My phone fell to the floor. I did not even pick it up. I just drove. My mind was spinning. How could I have forgotten something so important? Why had I ignored all the signs? The cramps, the anxiety, the terrible feeling all morning. My body had been trying to warn me. My mind had been trying to remind me. And I had almost ignored it all. I gripped the steering wheel tightly, my knuckles turning white. I could feel tears burning behind my eyes, but I blinked them away. Had to focus. I had to get there on time. Please God, I prayed silently. Please let me make it. Every red light felt like a personal attack. I sat at each intersection, tapping my fingers on the steering wheel, watching the seconds tick by on the dashboard clock. 2:15 p.m. 2:17 p.m. 2:19 p.m. My thoughts spiraled into fear. What if missing this appointment meant missing something serious? What if there was something wrong with me, and I had been ignoring all the warning signs? I thought about all the women I had heard about who had caught diseases early because they went for regular screenings. I thought about the ones who had not gone, who had waited too long. My body had not been warning me for nothing. The cramps, the unease, the terrible anxiety that had been with me all morning. It had all been leading to this moment. I pressed harder on the accelerator. The clinic was just a few blocks away now. Please, I whispered again. Please let me make it. I pulled into the clinic parking lot at 2:28 p.m. I jumped out of the car and ran toward the entrance, my bag bouncing against my hip. The glass doors slid open automatically. The cool air conditioning hit my face. The reception area was calm and quiet, so different from the storm inside me. I rushed to the receptionist's desk, breathless and sweating. Jenny Cooper, I gasped. I have an appointment at 2:30 p.m. The receptionist looked up and smiled warmly. Yes, Jenny. You are just in time. Your PAP smear is scheduled now. Please take a seat. The nurse will call you in a moment. I collapsed into a chair, my legs shaking. Relief washed over me like cool water. I had made it. Just barely, but I had made it. A nurse appeared a few minutes later, calling my name gently. I followed her down the hallway, my heart still pounding but for a different reason now. I was here. I was safe. I was gonna be okay. The gynecologist, Dr. Quinn, was a kind woman with warm eyes and a gentle smile. She greeted me and asked me to sit down before the procedure. "Jenny, I am glad you made it today," she said. "I know life gets busy, but this test is very important." She explained everything to me clearly in a way that made sense. PAP smears are recommended for women between the ages of 25 and 64, she said. Women are usually screened every 3 years if results are normal. After 65, you may stop if previous tests have been clear. I listened carefully, realizing how little I had known about my own health. She continued, "The test checks for abnormal cells in the cervix that could lead to cancer. Early detection saves lives." She then explained the risk factors. HPV infection is the most common cause. Smoking, having multiple sexual partners, early sexual activity, a weakened immune system, and missing regular screenings all increase your risk. I felt a chill run down my spine. I had been so careless. "Prevention is simple," Dr. Quinn said. "Regular screenings, the HPV vaccine, safe sexual practices, and a healthy lifestyle all help. And if we find abnormal cells, there are treatments. Most can be removed before they become cancer." I nodded, tears filling my eyes. I had almost missed this. I had almost ignored everything my body had been trying to tell me. The test was quick and simple. Within minutes, it was over. Dr. Quinn told me that the results would come back in a week, but everything looked normal during the examination. I stepped out of the clinic into the warm afternoon sunlight. My heart felt lighter than it had in months. The terrible anxiety that had been with me all morning was finally gone. Understood now. My body had known. My mind had known. Deep down, I had remembered the appointment, and my entire being had been trying to push me toward it. I stood in the parking lot, looking up at the sky, and whispered a prayer of thanks. I thought about Bella. I thought about Maria. I thought about Aaron. I thought about all the women who ignored the signs, who postponed appointments, who told themselves they were too busy. I pulled out my phone and sent a message to Bella. "I went for my PAP smear today. You were right. Thank you for always pushing me." Her reply came almost immediately. "I am so proud of you, Jenny. Love you." I smiled through my tears. Then I thought about you, the person listening or hearing this story right now. If you are between 25 and 64 years old, when was the last time you went for your PAP smear test? Do not wait. Do not ignore the signs. Do not let fear or busyness stop you. Your body is always trying to protect you. Listen to it. If you like more of this type of stories, please like and subscribe to Medicore Stories with Dr. Charles. Stay tuned for the next story.